So a lot of time when we take in media, like be it gaming, books, anime, stuff like that, most of the time we just enjoy it, right? But like ever since I started writing, I've learned to like read in between the lines of like what the creator is trying to like portray with a certain character, or what they're trying to get over for a story arc, you know. And honestly, it's become a blessing and a curse at the same time. This new thinking, like this new thinking process, it just makes me a lot more alert to see a lot of common tropes like that are used correctly, or like aren't even that great. Things that repeat over and over again, and that, like it in some cases it's made me drop certain like material or content because of that. Um, because I get too into it, and I'm starting getting in my head, and then like when like the final reveal actually happens, it's lackluster. It may be lackluster to me. It's like, oh, they could have gone with this idea instead. But I guess that's the case of it. But for me, I want to give you guys like three examples like of characters from different sources and materials. Just to let you know, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to be talking about Spawn Armageddon, so that's Spawn from the Spawn series. Devil May Cry's Virgil, one of the best boys, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Scar. So these are spoilers. These are pretty old anyway. So if you haven't actually read, seen, or played them, uh, you've got a whole like forever to actually get into it. So like first off, I want to start off with Spawn. So for you guys who don't know, Spawn. His real name Al Simmons. He's an assassin who was murdered by his former friend and boss and colleague. Sorry, I need a drink of water. This is actually long. He was murdered by his friends, like his former friend and employer, right? Gets sentenced to hell because he's a mercenary. He murdered people for as his job. As you do. So he gets sent to hell. But instead of his soul going straight to hell, his soul gets captured by Malboja and gets returned to Earth, just to see his wife, right? Because he was like, oh man, I will sell my soul to the devil as long as I get to see my wife one more time. So he gets that opportunity, but it's been like years. So like the man Al Simmons has been dead for years. Wonder Blake has moved on. He has to go through this whole heartbreak, whole procedure. It's like, oh man, damn, my girl moved on, and I even sold my soul. So what do I do now? But it doesn't really matter about that. What I really wanted to focus on is the Armageddon storyline. Now with that brief overview, what happens in Armageddon is essentially heaven and hell having a fight. Now with Wanda Blake and her life, she got married to Spawn, Al's best friend. Who's real best friend, Terry. They have kids, two kids, who turn out to be what's it called? Who turn out to be not really their kids. They turn out to be God and Satan forced into human form by the mother of all creation, essentially. Now the mother of all creation goes on to say like, oh yeah, I forced them into this state because they really are like children. Out of all the gods that I created, out of everything I've done, these two just bicker and bicker constantly, like constantly fighting for no reason. So she thought, hey, put them in children's form so they can understand. But their true nature eventually arises in front of Terry and Wanda, where this comic is really graphic, by the way. So get ready for that. So yeah, that happens. What happens? I've lost track now. See, this is what happens when I ramble. I love it though. So yeah, the mother of all creation puts them in their body. And Spawn has to like essentially fight them, and Spawn eventually gets a power up. He goes through these trials essentially to to find the power to like defeat essentially God and Satan. So when he finally gets the power, they show up. Spawn defeats them. I'm rushing through this part because this isn't the part I really want to talk about. Spawn defeats them, no biggie, because he's super strong. Essentially what he does, he literally wipes them from existence and banishes them from Earth, the Earth that they reside on, but allowing everyone to know that God and Satan, they're not the people you think. They're not the spiritual people you think. Which is really good, because the next bit is really amazing, because now with all this power, Spawn can do whatever he wants, and what he chooses to do is to go back to his wife with his wife and essentially tell Terry, yeah, I'm back, man, get out. This is my goal, my place, my house, you know what I mean? But the mother of creation goes on to tell Spawn, maybe, hey man, maybe that's not the best idea, you know, maybe because you might be remembering a few things not correctly, you know, because what we're led to believe, like throughout this whole comic book series, that Spawn is just a guy who really loves his wife. He just wants to see his wife constantly. He even sold his soul for her. Wants to be back with her. And just, you know, a guy down on his luck, trying to be better, trying to do the best he can be. And it's something admirable to look up to, you know, something like, yeah, this is a hero, but not such a hero, so, you know, more like an anti-hero. That being said, what goes on to happen is that Spawn and the mother of creation show up at, you know, Wanda's house, well, outside the door of Wanda's house, and right before they go in, she freezes. They take them into an ethereal form, so they can walk through walls and no one can really see them. What we see is that Wanda still doesn't know that Al's alive, by the way. So Wanda is looking at has a box of memorabilia of items from Al, so like photos that they shared, gifts, like things that you would keep of your lover that who has passed, you know. Now Terry sees this, and you know, Terry being the new guy, he's feeling some type of way. He's like, damn, it's like, even after all these years, this guy's gone, you still want to be with him, and you still want to do this, and the fight, like, they start to escalate, it starts to get rowdy. But I was like, yeah, man, she loved me, I'm the guy, you know, I'm number one, I'm always gonna be there for her. No one else is gonna matter. So what goes on, then what happens is, what was it, Wanda goes to say, hey, she goes to say, like, what, yeah, maybe I still do love him, what are you, like, because Terry's getting really angry, maybe I still love him, what are you gonna do about it? She's like, what, are you gonna hit me? It's just like, and Terry goes, what, huh? Like, completely rattled him. He's like, wait, what, huh? And then she goes to say, yeah, because that's the one thing he did, that Al did, he hit me. And that drop, for me, it was like, wow. It's just completely, this is really a big spoiler podcast, because I'm gonna spoil a lot of shit. It's just like a big wow. It's just like a needle drop. It's like, this guy who had been crying to heaven and hell, saying that I love my wife, this is the one I want to be with, I'll sell my soul to whoever to see her one more time, has had the power to actually strike his wife. And it goes even deeper than that, because in the comic, Wanda goes to explain that it wasn't just the one-off time, it was multiple times. And it brings up a question of I've been rooting for this character this whole time, and like, his morals almost seem just, but there's always some dark side to it, something that you wouldn't technically see in modern day heroes nowadays. You know, you won't see them having that gruesome side, because I generally don't believe in domestic violence, because domestic violence is a red flag. If you're on domestic violence, that bridge between me and you is burnt. You're scum, period. Both ends of it, male and female, you're both scum. But I'm getting besides the point. it's just going to show you is like even throughout all of the writing and like the stories that we were told about Al Simmons saying that he was a great man, he was this, that, and the other, he's still scum, and the worst hasn't even come yet. We later find out that on one occasion, Wanda had gone off, well, stopped taking whatchamacallit, because it was during the, because we know how like domestic abuse is usually a cycle. So it's a cycle of like I'm not gonna say I'm an expert about it. It's usually a cycle of abuse, regret, and then I'm trying to repair it so that the person doesn't run away. So it's like a constant carousel cycle going around and around. And at this point, I think it was where Wanda was saying, "Oh, I actually think this man has changed, and I would like to have a baby with him." So she's come off her birth control, and at that point, they went out, came back. She made a joke about Jason Wynn, who's Terry's who's Al Simmons' boss, the one that eventually killed him. He didn't feel he was feeling some type of way about it, and sucker punched her in the stomach, causing her to have an abortion. So yeah, that's just it's just so the realization that Spawn, the original reason that Spawn was sent to hell is not because of his mercenary acts. I like to think it's because of this one act, you know, because your job's your job, but you chose this. This is wild. That's wild. I love this story just because we're led to believe that Spawn's reasoning for being the hell is for him being a mercenary from. Yeah, I've said that. Wow, I'm just reading my script very poorly. We're 10 minutes in. This is amazing. Anyway, so now we're gonna move on to video games. So now with video games, which is a interactive medium, you spend a lot longer time with the game, especially if there are multiple entries in the series. But the game I want to talk about is Devil May Cry. A character in the game, but I won't be talking about the series main character. I'm going to be talking about the elder twin Virgil. So this is like to explain who Virgil is. It's like going down in like how many games? You got DMC 3, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and then 5 in that order. That's where Virgil is. That's the Virgil storyline essentially. So the TLDR, these two are the sons. These two are the son of a Sparta. Wait, what? Man, my reading's amazing, but we only take one take. I've been holding this back anyway, so you know, a little brief reprieve for me. So these two are the sons. These two are the son of a demon lord Sparta and a human woman Eva who woke up, and a demon who woke up to justice. Yeah. So essentially, these two were raised by a demon and a human. A demon father, demon lord, super strong, amazing guy. Woke up to justice. Didn't believe that the demons wanted to invade the human realm and like bring chaos and shit. And he was like, "Nah, dog, I don't want to be about that." And so he was like, "Yo, you guys ain't gonna do that." And he fought against the demon lords and banished them back into the demon world, sealing it with the sword Yamato. Later on, he would meet a woman, fall in love with her, and bear 2 children, Dante and Virgil. Well, Virgil and Dante, you know, Virgil's the older twin. Okay, so years go down. There's one demon lord in hell. So he's like, you know what? My man Sparta did us dirty. I'm gonna go clap that man. So he jumps out the demon realm. He's like, yo. He finds like at this point Sparta's gone off. Like he just mysteriously disappeared. So but he left the Yamato with his elder son Virgil, which had the power to seal the demon realm, as we said before. And the rebellion for Dante, you know, Waha Yuhu Pizza, crazy man, you know, bang bang. Bang bang. So what happens now is that one day, the house is attacked by demons. Virgil is not there. He's in a cemetery, but he gets jumped by a bag of demons. But at that time, Dante and his mother were inside the house. Dante survives because his mother hides him inside the closet. And then she goes out like 5 steps looking for Virgil and gets clapped off by a demon. it's like wow, like she literally goes around the corner and gets bodied. It's sad, but you know, it is what it is. So now Virgil's in a cemetery getting jumped by demons. One demon decides, you know what, I'm gonna stab this little nigga with his own sword. Because at this point I think they're like 8, and he stabs him in the chest. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's like Virgil gets stabbed in the chest, and he's like, and like at that moment he awakens his inner demon, so he pops DT. He goes like, Super Saiyan, and pulls the sword out, murks every demon there. He turns to see his house is on fire, and he's like, damn, nobody really cared about me like that, huh? Say no more. Cool. I'm gonna get strong, so strong that no one can do this to me. And from there, a true demon was born. Now, that was a TLDR about who like Dante and Virgil is. Excuse me. And what it is now. I am trying to find where I'm at. Alright, cool. So now let's fast forward to DMC3. So this is where the actual true story begins. It's like they're like 18 or 16 or something. Virgil, he's like, nah man, power's everything. My dad was so cool, he was so strong, I'm gonna be just like my dad. Fuck yeah, I'm a demon, yeah. And he's rejecting all his humanity. And Dante's like, man, fuck demons, fuck that, I'm gonna kill every demon I see until I get the one that killed my family. Bars. Oh my gosh. I'm not a rapper. But yeah, so that happens. And what Virgil would like to do now, way back when the mom gave them an amulet that's like half an amulet each, which makes a whole amulet, and with that and the Yamato, it opens up the demon world. And that's what Virgil wants to do in this game, and he's like, yeah man, I'm gonna be, because essentially if they go back to the demon world, they'll find the sword of his father, the Sparta. And in this game, in this game line franchise, demons can become weapons, so don't worry about that. So essentially he wants to wield his dad in his hands again. He wants to hold his dad, just wants a hug essentially. So yeah, Virgil goes there and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be so strong, but he gets betrayed by this dude named Arkham. He's got really bad acne on his face. He doesn't like he has his own daughter, and he uses her to sacrifice her to open up the demon world. So Dante and Virgil, they fight in the demon world. Well, they fight this asshole acne face. They beat him. Virgil then goes off to steal the amulet, well, get his amulet, half the amulet back, and the Sparta. Turns to Dante, like, give me your amulet, I want that. I want it, give me it. And he's like, no, I want to give it to you. He's like, all right, cool. So they fight. Then they get left. Well, Dante being Dante, and the main character beats Virgil, and he gets left in the demon world. Fast forward on to DMC1. Secret ending for DMC3. Virgil goes on to fight Virgil in a weakened state goes on to fight Mundus, the guy who jumped his family way back when he was 8, in it. Spoiler alert, he loses, he gets bodied, and DMC1 begins. In DMC1 we see Virgil, but it's not a Virgil, it's a new enemy called Nello Angelo. Ooh. And he sees Dante's amulet, ooh, and freaks out. Ooh, who could this be? It's Virgil. Defeating Nello Angelo frees Virgil. Then in DMC4, is where we find out that the sword of Virgil's sword is broken, and Virgil, he is a promiscuous boy and has a son, which is crazy because that was amazing. I love that game. DMC4 is amazing. If you haven't played it, play it. It's a really good game. But yeah, I am derailing very hard. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Virgil and his story. Okay, cool. So after all that's said and done, right? Virgil is now okay, let's say DMC5, right? In DMC5, there's this new big bad demon. Well, Nero, Virgil's son, gets his arm taken back, and it's the Yamato, and it's like, oh no, he could have stolen the Yamato. It's Virgil. Virgil essentially splits himself into two: his humanity and his demonic form. Where his humanity has a short amount of time to live because it has no demonic energy, but it is burdened with all of the past actions that Virgil has gone through. So all the enemies from DMC1 are actually his allies in the game in DMC5, which is really good story writing, which I tend to enjoy. In this game, we get more analysis of who Virgil actually is, in the sense of where he isn't just power. We get to see his humanity and what he likes and what he actually enjoys, and especially in his gameplay, especially during the taunts. You can see that he holds a book and it's William Blake poetry. He references William Blake constantly throughout the game. He is a major poet nerd and he loves classical music, so we get that information from him. You can see that he loved, instead of his brother who loved pizza and stuff, more action orientated stuff, Virgil was more reserved, quiet, and he was a weeb as well because he liked the Yamato. From then we constantly, from there, during DMC5, we find out that what's his name, Virgil's humanity wants to rejoin Virgil, and during this process, once they rejoined the big bad demon Urizen, it's Virgil. We find out it's the Alpha, the Omega son. Virgil is back. Whew! When he came out, that gave me chills. I'm not even gonna lie. You gotta play that scene. You gotta watch that. So now with Virgil being back, we get another side of Virgil, a more wholesome side. So it's more of his humanity screaming to him now. Well, not screaming to him. He's more humane now. He's actually contemplating at the top of the Clythot, thinking what would have happened if things were different, which is something the earlier Virgil would never have done. He wouldn't care. He would have said, like, cool, I'm back, power, I need more power, which is, his catchphrase. And just to see Virgil go through all of this change, like from a literal power-hungry demon into a caring father who didn't sacrifice himself to save his son. Well, at the end of the game, at least, took him enough. He was going to kill his son either way. He ripped his son's arm off from the get-go. He didn't know, mind you, but it's one way to greet him. And finally, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest mediums of all time, and anime. That anime has never been bad, has never been horrible to anything. Like, it transcends all types of media. And it's something very quick. It's very simple. It's Full Metal Alchemist, and the Ishvalan Scar. So, again, TLDR, Ishval was a place that got genocided. It got bodied by Astera, I want to say. Amestrius. I'm so stupid. Amestrius, not Astera. Why am I? Astera is from Monster Hunter. I'm silly. So yeah, Ishval got genocided by Amestria. Sorry. And during that time, Scar, the fallen Ishvalan, had a brother who was studying alchemy, I want to say, or Words are hard. Alchemy. There we go. And alchemy. Words are hard, yo. I don't want to hear anyone laugh at me. This is bullying. So essentially, his brother was studying forbidden techniques because Ishvalans don't really like that tough. They believe in one God, one true thing, and stuff like that. They don't really believe in the transmutation of objects from one state into another. They don't mess with that shit. That shit bookie. You feel me? But yeah, Scar. Scar's brother studies this, but Scar loves his brother. He's like, you know what? Yeah, do you? Scar brothers dies in one of the attacks from Amestrius. Enraged, Scar's brother dies defending Scar and transfers his arm, which has a tattoo of alchemy. I said it, alchemy. I got there eventually. Alchemy, I think it is, or alchemy, on his left arm, which allows him to dismantle stuff and just essentially blow shit up, deconstruct. Now, throughout the story, during that part, when Scar finally wakes up from the attack, he's surrounded by other Ishvalans who've been attacked, and the 2 Amestrians who were actually taking care of them and healing him. Scar decides, yo, man, fuck Amestrius, fuck them niggas, I'ma kill them all. He kills the 2 doctors helping him. Later on, this plays very important because the 2 doctors that he kills are the parents of one of the main characters in the story, Winry, Rockefeller. I can never get it right on the first try, but you know what? It is what it is. So once that's been done, Scar is now committed to this path, and he says, "Yo, I'ma kill everybody in the military. I'ma clap them off one by one. If I see him, I'ma catch them lacking. It's a rap, son." And that's what he does for his life. It's just him on the run, attacking military people and killing them, just because essentially because of genocide. Other Ishvalans do not agree with this path, and they very much disassociate themselves with him. Now, our main character, Edward Elric, joins the military and has a run-in with Scar numerous times. At one point, Scar finds Renri and understands that she was the daughter of the people who healed her, and he has remorse for this. He believes that revenge should seek revenge. Believes that, yo, I did you dirty, you might as well. You're the only one that has the right to clap me off. And he gives her, she has a gun, and she's like, yo, do it. It doesn't matter. If you kill me, I'm not even gonna be mad. Which is kind of tapped still. So, and the worst bit is, Wenry doesn't shoot. She tells him, my parents saved you for a reason, and they wouldn't kill you, so why would I do the same, essentially. She's like, there's no point in senseless murder. Hearing this, I've lost the sense of where I was. Damn. And she says, no, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right. And at this point, Scar changes his life about how to take revenge and how to fix the country that he's living in at the moment, where he meets more people instead of killing them. He spares them. So Dr. Marco's his name. He was another key element who assisted in the genocide of the Ishvalans. He travels with him and helping uncover the truth behind the Amestrius and why people are being sacrificed, using the arm that his brother gave him. Instead of destroying people, he's using it to help more people. Later on, he gets another arm and fully is not another arm, gets another tattoo on his arm, allowing him to fully dismantle the plans of Father and the homunculi And to be honest, it's a few highlights of exploits. But to be honest, this has been a rush. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This has been a rush. What I'm trying to say is, like, when consuming media as a creative, you see some characteristics and tropes that you won't see everywhere else, or storylines that you see going to a building the character. Like, let's take something I've been watching recently, Tokyo Revengers. That's caught me lacking. I thought it was just going to be gang time, fun time. No, the main character is supposed to be sent back in time to save someone, and he's a kid, and these kids are, well, essentially in the future, a gang manages to kill his ex-girlfriend, and he's like, nah man, I want to go save her. So he has the ability to go back in time as a kid to a kid, and it turns out those gang members that killed his ex-girl were his best friends. Bum bum bum. I'm not gonna spoil anymore because I want you to go watch that shit. But yeah, just to be everything, it's just to say anything, it's just to, well, in conclusion, take a look in your media a bit more, watch it a bit more, read it, well, not watch it, I mean, try to engage in it a bit more, try to, like, anticipate tropes, try and see what you can find out that you see reoccurringly in, like, media, because there's things I don't like, there's things I do like. I like a lot of shit, but there's some things I don't like, and when I see them, I try to avoid it in my writing. I don't know why I wanted to say this anyway. Thanks folks, thanks for listening. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Bye.